That's what I joined because it was a building.
You're a reconstructionist. You're going to
work. Just call me a Puerto Rican? What'd
you say?
Yes,
you're a PR. I shortened it.
I wish I was.
A PR?
Kind of. Part of me. First thing, I love West Side Story. The gardener just killed himself. Just shoved his head into the blade.
Nobody can hear that. By the way, my gardener during this podcast, the guy that comes on and cuts the grass, my gardener.
Was that bad?
But he decided to cut the front lawn 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Big Full House fan.
He's a big mow.
He's hoping.
I mean, he has a large mower. That's
he's a huge. I knew what you meant.
Yeah. Oh. I've never seen a leaf blower drag from the other direction. Man has an intake on his leaf blower. You know who had
sure does.
a leaf blower to go to the bathroom was Captain Pike. That's how when he almost jettisoned. That's why they kept him in that box because he would have lifted off the ground from the.
He couldn't because his ass was too big.
He was paralyzed, by the way. That's not even. That Captain Pike was in a bad spaceship crash of some kind.
And you did a documentary called
Through Pike's Eyes.
And it was about people who were in space accidents
and then
who
they
had
their
buttons.
Face.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, they take ribs out of their ass and they
put them in their face.
And then they give them 3 buttons in which to tell you.
So time out, Saget. Your son...
nephew.
Your nephew.
I don't have a son, but
you have daughters.
Yeah, I have 3 daughters.
You have
how many children do you have?
I have 2 boys.
How old are they?
9 and 1.
I'm sorry, you're wrong.
Fantastic.
Let's go on to the bonus round.
Your nephew Adam has rib bones in his face.
Yep.
How does that?
No,
because a rib is like this long.
Well, it was interesting. His name is Adam, and they took his rib out.
Did you work that into your awful fucking VO in your documentary?
No, it's a beautiful.
You know, what are the odds? Like Werner Herzog.
He narrated the documentary. It was narrated by a 7-year-old kid. You can't even fault it. There's one bad thing in it that I did, which is I recreated some kids yelling at him and hassling him. He was always adorable anyway.
Wait, but why is that bad? You did a bad job, or you didn't? I
just felt like it was almost like reality TV kind of thing. It was like falsifying a piece of.
But this is when you were in college in like the 70s. When was it?
Yeah, but
85?
Everything seems real. I mean, even when I, made my pornography when I was 10. Whoops.
It is weird that
the neighbor man took me. What?
It is weird that you got into porn so young.
Well, I was an actor.
Go on.
I was 10. But I stopped when I was 11.
So you were like...
I have no regrets.
You're like Sacha Grey. You got in, you got what you wanted out of it, you got out.
Cohen.
You were Sacha Baron Cohen of porn.
I did a kind of a Bruno. I called it Puno. Because I was little and puberty hadn't come in yet.
Right. And that was the allure, really, of having a 10-year-old Bob Saget in your porno movie was like, well, everyone shaves it. What if we have someone on that doesn't have to shave?
And doesn't even know what it is yet.
Yeah.
And by the way, my nose hadn't come in yet. At the time, I had a smaller nose. My nose was tiny till I was about 13.
Keep telling yourself that.
I've seen your books.
I've seen the movies. It's a big schnoz. You look like fucking Saget Durante.
Dude, it was after... It was after bar mitzvah. Those are what Jews do before they take them.
Explain how Jews work to us.
When a kid turns 13, they drop him in a well.
Yeah? I think baby Jessica, I don't think was Jewish.
Gifts. They throw a bike in afterward.
I didn't think baby Jessica was Jewish.
Yeah, she was.
Chilean miners, are they Jewish?
All
Jews.
Well, anybody that gets put in a pit is officially Jewish.
What about the people in the sand pit in Star Wars?
Yeah.
Future Jews.
Honestly, if they had gone through that original bar scene in Star Wars, in Star Trek, Star Wars, those people are insanely against each other. I don't know that many people that love.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do know.
You can't. It's like Bloods and Crips. You can't ride the fence.
Exactly.
You got to pick
it's like
one.
West Side Story.
You're either a Trekker or a Star, whatever they're fucking called.
But if you'd have gone through that,
Whizzer.
if you want me to, are you commanding me to go to the bathroom?
No.
If you pan through the Star Wars bar and you settled and your shot rests on Captain Pike, I would go see that 1,000 fucking times. If you go through the whole thing, the guy with the big ears and all the different Star Wars creatures, the guy that picks a fight with the guy and gets mad, but then you just settle on Captain Pike just nursing a. Do I hear a clip?
It's a hose, dude.
What's happening? Your gardener's urinating on the wall?
Every sound that happens, you're really gun shy.
You're bringing a live elephant or something?
Yeah, we have a parade of elephants outside.
What is he doing out there?
He's watering fucking grass. What does a gardener do? Do I got to walk you? What do you live in the fucking desert? Are you an Albuquerque guy? You got rocks in your yard?
foam core or something to like
Foam core. What are we
close
landing a
this-
jet during a fire? Why do I need
I don't
foam
know,
core?
but I don't know why I need to hear all that.
Because we're in a garage. Because we're not fancy
Distracting.
people. I don't want overhead when I do I want underhead.
Well, what do you drive a fancy car?
I drive a fast car. I
It's like a Fiat.
was trying to do a Tracy Chapman reference, but I didn't know any other lyrics to that stupid
Stolen
song.
car.
I drive a fast car.
Yeah, stolen car. That's Bruce Springsteen.
That's
on a pitch
off,
black night.
off the river
Are
on
you gonna go
on
see-
Eldridge Avenue.
Ah.
I
Are
met
you
a little
gonna go
girl.
see him? Are you gonna
No,
see
I'm
this
done.
tour?
I tapped out because
Because it's 4 hours long.
No, I like that part. I
You
don't
don't
like.
like that he can do those backward yoga moves, and he's older than us.
I don't like when he says, "Now it's time for my wife to do a few songs," and then I go to the bathroom, and then there's a line a mile long, and then I miss Backstreets.
That's the food bank. You got confused.
Well, it wasn't the food bank because there was a
Oh.
urinal in the front, and nobody's putting canned hams in it. It was just people taking out their cocks and peeing because they
good
did not want to
show.
hear Patty Scalfa do fucking songs.
What if Captain Pike was on stage? What if it was?
I would stay
What
because
if he
he's
just,
a dead man, and it would be an actual ghost sighting
right
if Jeffrey Hunter walked
as
out.
the extra that played Jeffrey Hunter because they fired Jeffrey Hunter was inside that box.
Man, think
One
about
of
what
your
it-
listeners knows what happened there. Who that extra was. Who a guy that didn't speak that had the three lights.
they just had a guy that looked like Jeffrey Hunter.
Yeah, and they slicked his hair back white like he'd been through some horrible,
Very Space Odyssey before Space Odyssey.
I just watched Tree of Life the other night.
Unwatchable.
I thought that
First
the
15
time-
minutes, astounding. And then there's a fucking dinosaur drinking out of a river and 8 minutes of a jellyfish. I'm like, really, Terrence Malick?
What?
We had fucking mushrooms in the edit bay?
Well, that's a case of it. I couldn't stop watching it the other night, but I was on mushrooms and laying in the bed of my own urine. But I couldn't stop watching it the other night. And the first time I tried to watch it, I couldn't watch it. But then I couldn't stop watching it. They kept following that kid everywhere, and I wanted to see how the fuck's he going to turn into Sean Penn.
I am a huge Terrence Malick fan. Thin Red Line is like one of my top 10.
Right.
I'm all in it.
I have one drawn around my penis.
Thin Red Line?
Yeah. I do it with a small
That's
mascara.
because- well, no, I thought it's because your condoms are too tight.
That's to box with God.
Your condoms are too tight to box
But
with.
you know what? What don't you wish? Doesn't every guy wish that his condoms were too tight? Now that takes us
I
into
guess.
all the
But
bits.
are you? Oh no, you have a girlfriend now. But you were single for a while. You
I
were
was
married
single
for
for
a
a little
long
while.
time.
I was
You,
married
you
years
made
ago.
someone very wealthy with a divorce.
She's a good person.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you were on 2 shows
Yeah,
that were in the
and-
top 20
we were
simultaneously for a decade.
Yeah. There were
You
8
really-
years.
You really were.
And I had 3 daughters who I wanted to and am responsible for. So,
So were you? Is there such thing as an amicable divorce?
amicable? Isn't it amicable?
Whatever,
Or is
dude.
are you allowed to do both
I didn't
of
go to
those?
Temple.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that didn't get into the colleges.
I almost got shot a few times just trying to go to my liberal arts classes.
Yeah, South Philly,
Oh, man. No, North Philly.
North Philly.
It doesn't matter because, it's a good school.
How much money did you give your wife in the divorce?
Well, these are questions I never answer.
Why
And
not?
You ask them. I don't think
That's why this
anybody-
is the hard-hitting question.
I don't think anybody should answer that
Why?
because it's personal.
All right. Well, we know for a fact, just that your wife,
turned into the Nuremberg trial.
when you got divorced,
right,
California immediately had a brand new multimillionaire.
absolutely, she's
Absolutely.
happy. She was and
Home
the kids-
videos and Full House for 10 years in the top 20. That is,
I have been asked this before.
that is
I have been
income
put
that
through
doesn't
this.
stop giving.
No, unless I had a Captain Pike it, but I'm still able-bodied and
Yeah.
I'm able to.
Bob, please let me go back to Drowsy Chaperone because it was the first musical I ever saw in my life.
which is
Drowsy
That's the
Chaperone.
first one you ever saw.
Ever. I met my wife, and she opened me up into a whole world of gay.
Right. Well, I don't think she opened you. I've known you a long time.
Well, I've always been on the
when you were-
waiting
when
list.
I hosted Saturday Night Live and you were on it, you
God,
were
we had
grabbing
fun.
my sack.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
that
like-
was your kind of humor. So don't
Yes.
tell me that she opened you up to a whole world of gay.
That's why I
Your
laughed
name
during
used
it.
to be spelled More, and then cock was at the end of it.
That's true.
Yep.
More-
Mine was Saget, which was that was.
And I
rhymed
realized
with
it rhymes
every-
with waggot, like a dog's
That was the
tail.
second nicest thing you've ever said.
I finally
to me.
figured it
First
out.
nicest thing was we want to be on my podcast,
Yes.
and you wrote about me nice in your book, which was
You were
very, very
great.
nice.
When you were on SNL, You were fun. You went with the flow, and you were like a breath of fresh air because a lot of like John Travolta came in with like a notebook of ideas, and when you're pitching ideas to Lorne, you know this already. Lorne, after we all pitch our ideas, Lorne will say like, "Bob, is there anything you'd like to do?" And you go, "No, let's just fucking get out of here." But Travolta took out like notebooks, like a lawyer, and went, "I always thought it'd be funny if I could play like a Hasidic Jewish detective." And he starts like chuckling to himself. And we sat there for an extra 2 hours. Like, we're trying to get drunk. Let's get out of here.
Right.
But you just went with the flow. And we did one of the most absurd sketches of all time, which we did Boys to Men. And we did I'll Make Love to You.
Like You Want Me To.
Completely. There was no joke. It was us
I
dressed.
wanted there to be one. I had an idea, not in a notebook, but in my head, that it would be like a Tommy Hilfiger ad because those guys dressed as Tommy Hilfiger clothes.
Right.
And I wanted to have us change clothes, breakaway clothes, with every cutaway. And then Lauren said, "That's just too much work. Just sing the song."
We don't want to do any goddamn jokes, Saget.
And I was just a guest. Sandler was really, really funny.
But people got to know.
He's funny.
Who?
Sandler.
Yes.
He's real funny, And Bob Saget is on my podcast. Shut up. No, I don't know. And Bob Saget. Oh, left thumb, I like you better than my right one.
$20 million. Biggest movie star in the world.
He's it's unbelievable, by the way. You are mesmerized, though. The guy is maybe one of the most bankable people alive.
$20 million.
That's more than that. He can get
No,
more
it's
for that.
not.
He can get more.
Don't fuck with me, Saget, or I'll start calling you Bob Waggett.
I don't even mind that.
Listen, the sketch.
Drowsy Chaperone.
No, I'll
Okay,
get back to the
sketch.
Drowsy Chaperone.
Okay.
The sketch was literally me, you, Meadows, I forget who else was in it.
Adam Sandler.
5 guys, and we literally, they put on "I'll Make Love to You" by was it Boys to Men, and we were dressed in like their
We
weird.
sang it.
We just sang it.
Close your eyes.
And I had the.
They cut to women crying. That was funny when they.
No,
pulled
they
back.
didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot who it was. She was cutting.
Good
was
old
it
what's her name?
Molly. It might have been Molly Shannon.
Could be.
Somebody was cutting an onion, and they pulled back.
And she was crying.
Yeah, she was crying. There were a couple of.
And I had the
things.
big sweetheart part of that.
Yeah,
I had the girl breathe there, and I had to like really hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
And there was really like no, like if you
Point
put
to it.
Huh?
There was no point to it. But
There was no point to it, and if you wrote it down
I
on
liked the
paper and
song.
said, "Here's the sketch," you'd go, "Well, this is you just handed me a song," and you go, "Yeah, but we're going to be holding like umbrellas indoors, and we'll have like little matching shorts and jackets."
That's
like,
what I wanted it to be.
But that's what it was.
We didn't have shorts on.
No.
No, I wanted it to be little propellers and stuff on beanies and things.
But because I think Lorne, I got to give credit to Lorne, because it was a joke-free experiment, it made it up into the
I'm so proud to
stratosphere
have been part of this.
of absurdity, of brilliant funny. Like, it was so
It had
funny.
mime in it. It had mime. We did
we were
sexual thrusting.
Yeah.
Like you want me to.
Yeah.
And I'll hold you.
But-
and we did that. We swayed.
Yeah.
It's good to do mime on your show, but
Yeah, no, it's a
this is a show, right? A podcast.
this is
but
a
it's
podcast.
A show.
It's 250,000 people right now listening to Bob Waggett.
So
Saget.
they're not full people.
No, they're a quarter.
Just like
A
Captain
quarter
Pike.
of a million of each person, like a
Wow.
foot, like a big toe.
Aw.
Bob,
Drowsy
tell me
Chaperone.
about.
First
Tell me about
how did you?
Tell me what happened when you said to Lorne, because I had the rock and roll real estate guy that got cut.
Right, and you tried to get that on a few times.
It went through dress rehearsal 13 times. The 14th time, it was the last show of the season.
You were funny. You would come out with a rooster.
Would have been a lot.
mohawk,
Would have been a lot funnier if we did it when I just did it for you the first time. But when you
I
go,
laughed.
all right, come on, everybody. When you do it 14 times, you're like,
I
fuck
wound
it.
up in David Spade's porn shop, the video shop where Asses of Fire and all that, that's Matt and Trey. But I can't remember Fists of Fury or something, a bunch of dirty porn titles.
And you.
And he kept calling me out or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what it got replaced
That's
with.
what I got replaced with.
But you told Lorne, you stuck up for me behind closed
I
doors.
said,
when
I think people will like this sketch. And he said, well, so you're the one that knows what people like?
Oh my
And I went, yes, I'm that guy. I know what people will like. And I like him immensely, by the way.
I love him. He picked me.
And he's been really kind to me over the years. I just like him. He's funny.
Bob, I want you to come over and make me chicken dinner. It's the anniversary of William Holden's death.
Did you saw Man in the Moon, right?
Yeah.
Lorne is really good in it.
Lorne's really good. You know, when he did that.
Show. I know. He makes me laugh on the show.
If you want to give Ringo less, that's up to you. It's one of the greatest lines of all time, right? It was like, what was the amount of money he offered the Beatles?
25,000.
No, it was like 12. It was like actual. I think it was scale. It was like $1,200.
Oh, it was.
It was like a beyond absurd amount.
I don't remember, but I remember.
The sketch was just Lorne talking to camera. I'm not telling.